Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Analytics Mindset. Continuing from the agents certification, I'm actually going into the next one. The next one will be the AI transformation leader certification. This is a little bit more of a softer certification going into how to help, and you can see here that it's in the AI builder product in the business leader role, meaning that we are not focusing that much on building agents, understanding their limitations, but just trying to see how people can actually accept AI and how we can help recognizing the opportunities of AI. Once you finish certification, as I said before, you're going to get these certifications here. You can see that you will need to take a proctor exam of 1 hour, and that I got it in January 30th. This is the second video on the three certifications. And yeah, let's get started. First of all, just going on overview on the exam, you will see here that you have both a course and classes that you can get. I think that you should be good with the course. You should not be paying for this, but each on their own. It's not worth it though for this, in my opinion at least. And you will see that it will cost $99, and that will be the price, unless your employer pays for part of it, or you get a kind of subsidy from Microsoft. That is a consideration to have. Now, something that you need to be aware of is that this certification is only 45 minutes to complete the actual assessment, but it's an hour in total with the practice questions, and you will get some questions too before and after the exam. They make extra time for that. And I usually will tell you that you should just go by and do a practice assessment, but there is no practice assessment for this certification, so you won't be able to actually see which questions they may get. My recommendation, just go through the material again. Don't just say, I am good enough for this, I'm good, let's go. That's at least my personal recommendation. But as you see, AI adoption, optimized business processes, and drive for innovation using Microsoft 365 Copilot and Azure AI. Those are the two biggest focuses of this course. You are supposed to be a business decision maker. Now you can be a manager, you can be a lead, etc. But just keep in mind that this certification is on the software side. It is on how to improve your soft skills, how to help other teammates adopting certain things, how to help them getting involved into AI. It is not a technical certification. Be very aware of that. And if you really think that you will not benefit from this, my recommendation: do not get it. Again, $100 may sound like a little, but for some people, but especially take into account the time investment on it. You may just go somewhere else and do something more useful with the time. Now you will see here that the course is Drive Transformation Your Organization. This is the self-directed learning. That's how Microsoft calls it. And you have here the self-prepared instruction led, or use self-paced. That is what I recommend you to do. There are three modules. I will go really quickly through each of them. And the first one will be explore the business value of generative AI solutions. The focus of this is you want to say, how are these AI solutions covering and helping you? How can you help others to drag strategies to say, hey, we want to use this on AI for AI. We need to augment our work with AI here. You start with the foundations of generative AI for business leaders. You're a business leader. You need to identify the opportunity first. Then you need to convince other people that the opportunity is actually good for everybody. After that, cost considerations, real world scenarios, and strategies are important. If people don't like what you're doing, even if you actually like the idea, they may not like the idea, and you will need to convince them before that. Each of these has a module assessment that I strongly recommend you to actually do, because it will help you to just double check your knowledge and that you're actually retaining the information there. You have then built effective generative AI solutions in your organization. This is where it goes a little bit more into the technical side. How do you ensure data quality, security, and understanding when leverage machine learning? Prompt engineering is a big one here. You will also have how do we trust AI? A big blocker for AI solutions is that people usually don't trust them. You get something to the model spits out something else. How do I know that this is actually trustworthy? You need to build that. It's not as easy as saying, yeah, it is an AI certificate, it is an AI model. We should trust it. We should just try to get everything to that. Your leaders should be the ones actually motivating your employees and your organization. They should be the ones drafting the strategy. They should be the ones actually taking accountability. Not just saying, hey guys, here have all these AI tools, have fun and implement it as much as possible. That is very myopic, in my opinion, and causes a ton of friction that could be easily avoided. From there, we will go to the second module, drive business value with AI solutions. In this one, you will see how Microsoft Foundry specifically and Copilot 2 can help you transforming work in your organization. It will help you to align AI with goals, how do you automate tasks, how do you adopt secure and responsible solutions. Also, licensing is very important. This certification goes a little bit into licensing. Some Microsoft certifications allow for some products customization. Generally speaking, the least customization you need, the easier it is for you to get it. Microsoft will just put you Copilot. Copilot, it's everywhere. It's a non-free solution, but if you need something a lot more, you need a grounded model. You need to train your own AI model, etc. That is going to be a lot more harder, and you're going to need Foundry for that. Foundry will be where you're actually training your model, and you will need a lot more things for that. For Copilot, at least, you will learn how to you can use it with Microsoft 365 apps. That is its main strength, as I have said in the past. How do you can help with innovation? It will also tell you the licensing options extensively with Copilot Studio and other strategies to get Copilot impact in your organization. If you're not familiar with Copilot's licensing, I will go really quickly through it, but I strongly recommend you to go a little bit through it. Why? Because it will tell you you can have an included subscription sometimes, you can have a monthly subscription, or you can have a pay as you go. But if you don't know your organization's policy, you can just give it a try. Microsoft tells you what you can do and what you cannot do with each of them. Even if you don't know your organization's policy, you can just give it a try with one of these, and whatever you can or you cannot do, you will be able to know which one you actually can have there. You can see my Copilot Chat is available for everybody, and Copilot Studio is licensed separately. That really will depend a lot on what you have, your organization, your adoption of Copilot, etc. But yeah, just give it a time and go through it really quickly just in case. Then we went to Microsoft Foundry tools. Foundry helps you training your own models. You can not only use it to create your custom chatbots, that is a very popular case right now, but you have Azure Vision, Azure Language, Azure Document Intelligence, and Azure Search. These are very useful tools that are not really as used as they should be, where you can actually just scan documents, you can detect natural language, you can actually see stuff through in videos and images. RAG, how do you actually do RAG, etc. Again, grounding is another one here. You can do a lot more with Microsoft Foundry. It is a very, very important part of Microsoft ecosystem if your organization is embedded in it. If not, you will have a lot less value learning from this, but it's still not a bad idea to have. I will just go 1 second more into Microsoft Foundry and why it matters. You can see that you can build and deploy AI solutions. That is the best part, the biggest part of Foundry. It is a more advanced tool that allows you to create your own custom AI solutions, and you can use them for a lot of different things. And you can also set up in the Microsoft ecosystem. It is fully integrated with all your systems. You can be like, well, I have this, just connect to this, do that, etc. Connect to this AD group, show it to these users, all of these things. And you can scale without distraction because you can buy you can buy more capacity as you go. Microsoft allows you to do that, but it is very expensive, so that's just a little asterisk there. Now, the last one that we walk through is like transform your business with AI. And this one is a little bit more different. It is more on how to find the knowledge and resources to adopt AI in organizations. You are planning, strategizing, and scaling AI project in a responsible way. It's composed on other modules, as you can see here. And you start with leverage AI tools and resources for your business. How can you use Azure and AI? How do you unify your data, real estate or data estate, as Microsoft calls it now, all your data assets, modernize your infrastructure? And how do you build apps and agents? Because you can have the best AI model ever, but if your data is very bad, your AI output is not going to be very good. Governance is also pretty good. Compliance, how do you make sure that your model doesn't do something illegal? In governance is how do you make sure that certain contents are filtered or that they matter in a certain way? And finally, practice to deliver measurable outcomes. How do you actually finance this? How do you sell it to upper management, etc.? Create business value with AI goes into how to draft a business strategy, how do you need to frame the technology into a business strategy, organizations like culture, because again, if nobody else wants to follow your plans, you are by yourself there. AI governance, and finally, how do you summarize AI drivers for business value? On embracing responsible AI principles, you need to go into responsible AI. That's coming to the exam. You want to at least get familiar with Microsoft responsible AI principles. How do you design a system for AI governance? And what Microsoft cares about in the AI framework to say, hey, this should not probably not go here, or this should be filtered out, or we should not get hate speech, for example. Something like Grok, for example, doesn't have any of that, but Microsoft does. And the last part is scale AI in your organization. AI is very expensive. There is a lot of indirect costs right now where tokens are being spent, computing power is being expended, database power, etc. That will come to bite a lot of people later, but you need to make sure that you know how much is being actually spent, or at least have an idea of it. You need to know that there is a balance in all businesses where you can get all these fancy tools, all these fancy things, etc. But if it costs more than your actual profits, then there is not really any alternative. You're just going to spend all your money to try to make more money. That you are spending a lot more money on that. That's something that you need to take into account. How do you scale AI in a way that doesn't bankrupt you, basically? And that's going to become a bigger and bigger concern as these models get more complex and keep spending more tokens as well. But yeah, again, the software certification, it is different from the previous one we saw, and it's going to be a little bit more different from the third one that we're going to see eventually. But as always, feel free to give me a like, comment, etc. And I appreciate any support. Thank you.